Hi, I'm Sarah Weber, the Brain Cleanup Coach, and this is your 10-minute mind fix on compassion. And what I wanted to offer you today was kind of a different take on compassion. So, the definition of compassion is just really to identify with the suffering of someone else, or just understand their suffering, to be in that with them. And if we think of people in history that were exemplary, is that the right way to say it? Compassionate. We think of Mother Teresa and the Dalai Lama, figures like that truly seemed like they did not judge their common man, and they truly stepped into the suffering of others, or were willing to at least be there with them along for the ride. So I was thinking about the word compassion and just dividing that up, and you know how it's C-O-M and then passion. And what occurred to me is the thought of compared passion. Like if I were to extend that C-O-M out at the beginning, compared passion, looking at the passions of ourselves and the passions of others, and being willing and open to compare rather than, and here's another COM word, competing passions. And so I think when we compete with somebody else's passions, when we pit our passions against someone else, we are stopped from entering into a compassionate space with someone else. But if you think about it in the terms of comparing, of being open enough to look and compare, not in a competitive way, but just in a way of, here's what I'm passionate about, and here's what this person is passionate about, and where can I find the commonalities? How can I also understand their suffering if the world, someone else, isn't understanding their passions? We've seen this a lot in politics and the political divide that is happening, has happened, will always happen, I'm sure. And because our passions compete, we can't get into a compassionate space with each other. And that space that says, I hear you, I hear your pain, that your passions, it feels like they're not being respected. And I feel that. So let's go ahead and get into a meditation. And there's going to be a visualization involved here. And we're going to kind of view things through a tunnel and then allow that tunnel to expand. And hopefully in that expansion and letting go of the walls of our own beliefs, our own biases, and our own thinking, we can then see the passions of other people. We can see what they believe, why they believe it, and how when it comes up against somebody else's beliefs and respect is lost, how that can create suffering. And it can be isolating. And it can make us want to retreat even more into our own passions and then just compete, rather than being open to comparison, but also finding the connecting values that are there. All right, so let's go ahead and get started on our meditation. And I'm going to ask you to just get comfortable in your chair if you're sitting, if you're lying on the ground or on a bed. Go ahead and let your body relax. And we're going to start by taking in 3 deep breaths, in through your nose, out through your mouth. And we'll close our eyes on that final exhale. And go ahead and take these, make it nice and deep, and go ahead and let your exhale be longer than your inhale. So just let that air flow out of your lungs at a comfortable, slow pace. All right, so let's go ahead and begin with the 3 breaths. And last exhale, go ahead and let your eyes close. And take a moment to check in with your body. How are you physically feeling today? Do things feel tense and tight, loose, light and airy? No need to change how you're feeling. This is just noticing how things are feeling today. And then what about your mental state? How's that doing today? Maybe you're feeling a little worried and anxious and constricted. Or your mindset is relaxed. Again, no need to try and change it right now. We're just noticing. And then go ahead and bring your focus to your breath. And just feel your lungs fill with air and your chest rise as you take a breath in. The air moving out of your body as you exhale. Feel that your chest lower down. And I want to invite you to envision a tunnel that you're looking through, and it's dark on all sides, but you can see out the end of it. And what you can see out the end is very focused. So go ahead and just picture something there at the very end of the tunnel to focus on. And you're lasered in and focused on this one thing. This is how our beliefs, our biases, our mindset can be. And it's through a very focused belief system that we operate as we do. But outside this tunnel, there are all other beliefs, all other ways of thinking. But if you can only see through this tunnel, you can't relate and you can't feel compassion to those other thoughts. So now what I want you to visualize is that tunnel, those walls, starting to break apart and dissolve. And you can see light starting to filter in. You're catching glimpses of images on the other sides of the walls. What had your singular focus and attention before is now merging with all the other things coming into view. You're amazed by the amount of images that represent human thought and all the different ways that we can think. And of course, your mind starts comparing your own thoughts to all the other thoughts you see around you. But you don't feel the need to judge. You're just amazed at all these thoughts and that different people see the world in different ways. And you can see them all clearly now. And you're amazed at how passionate your fellow humans are about what they see and what they believe. and you understand how feelings can get hurt when other people don't see it the same way. All right, and let me just bring your focus back to your breath. Go ahead and take a deep breath in. Breathe out and open your eyes. And how was that visualization? Did it make you kind of question how we can become very tunnel visioned in our own opinions and biases? But that's how brains work. They want to remain focused. They want to keep us kind of herded, right? And pinned into a certain way of thinking. But it's simply because it's easier to stay stuck in one way of thinking than to expand and take the walls away. Because then it's just there's a little less known. There's more unknowns to deal with. But when we can do that, and we can compare our own passions with those of others, then we can reach a state of compassion for other people in our lives. Thank you so much for joining me in this talk and meditation, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.